Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see you, and I have another beautiful guest for us this evening. I'm starting to ask women now for interviews because so far I've had many men, and I thought I'd balance the energy. And actually, this will be a surprise for me too because I met Natalie through Clubhouse, and I spoke to her a few times via WhatsApp. We hosted a room together, but we haven't really gotten a chance to see one another and speak to one another, on screen. And this will be the first time. So you'll get to know her as well as I will get to know her right now. So welcome, Natalie.
Hi, Liana. Yeah, thanks for having me. And it's so good to see you live and that we get to deep dive and have a conversation around something that's often not really talked about: intimacy, sexuality, sensuality. So I'm really excited to be here today.
Mm-hmm. So where are you on the planet, first of all? And from where on the planet do you come from?
I'm Swiss. I'm from Switzerland originally. I've been traveling around the globe, living in different countries for the last 20 years. And right now, as we speak, I'm in Spain.
Ah, vale, muy bello. I hope that was Spanish and not Italian because I often mix these two languages, but okay. And the 20 years that you've traveled to discover around sexuality or life in general, and you happen to discover also sexuality?
Definitely exploring my own sexuality.
Uh-huh.
And I'm quite lucky. I grew up in a home that was quite openly talked about sexuality. So I felt quite confident and comfortable in that space. But yeah, when you move to different countries and you get to connect with different cultures, it's a new way of exploring intimacy, because I believe culture has an impact in the way how we are intimate with others. So that definitely has been interesting. I lived in Australia for quite a while and sexuality was exposed and people were more open. And then when I lived in Asia, in Hong Kong, it was the opposite. I mean, I had my husband there in Hong Kong, but still the energy of sexuality felt very different. And doing the work that I do felt very different there as well. So it's been interesting living in different parts of the world and seeing how people are connecting intimately. And yeah, through my own sexual experience as well, it's been interesting. And yeah.
And Spain suits you the best right now for sexuality, I guess.
For now, I think it's just the personal place where it feels good to be for the time being.
Okay. Beautiful place to be in, especially with the pandemic. So
yeah.
Okay. So I've listened to a lot of your IGTV, so I'm following you on Instagram, and I liked a lot of the stuff that you shared there. But mainly the ones that stuck with me were the wolf moon video that you did and the wolf energy. And the one around, what was it, marriage and long-term relationships and how you balance your energy, or how you detox, especially when you are in relationships. Also, if you're not. So why don't let's talk about the wolf, first of all. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the wolf really relates to, because you have a wolf, which,
Yes.
yeah, it'd be very special to have and to connect with. And it came up, I hosted a group coaching call for the women in my group program, and it was a new moon or full moon in the wolf. And I was like, well, let's just go with the flow of the wolf energy and connecting it throughout to our own feminine energy and connecting with that wolf. Like, what is the wolf all about? And it just, the conversation just started to flow, like, what to all these women, like, what does the wolf represent to you? And a lot of it was connection, being in a pack, taking care of one another, but also being able to be independent and on your own, and taking care of yourself, and also being protective, having boundaries, being protective of what is yours, of the land, and you know, taking care of yourself and taking care of others. And it's just really nice to connect this energy and the wiseness that comes through the wolf as well, like just like this inner knowing. And it was just such a beautiful experience to connect to that, and it was really powerful. And yeah, I feel like we can all learn a lot from wolves. I really feel like we can all learn a lot from wolves. So it just flowed. And yeah, we were all afterwards, we were like, wow, that was very powerful to just connect with that wolf energy. So yeah, that was a great experience. And I still hear women say to me, there was, you know, beginning of the year, they said to me, I still ask my inner wolf, what does she need? Or what would she have to say? So to connect to that inner instinct. And yeah, so
I guess the next time there will be a full wolf moon, we'll be listening to Shakira's She Wolf and dance to it. Yeah, there were
great
other.
idea. I like it.
Yeah, I searched on YouTube for She Wolf because I wanted to see what I'd find, and I obviously found Shakira's song, and I think I found another one from. It was a metal song. I don't know if it was from Iron Maiden or I can't remember. I tried to listen to it, but somehow it was a bit too metally for me. And obviously there's the book Women Who Run with Wolves. That's also an experience, but I'm looking for more instinctual stuff because what I noticed in my wolf, he eats, he walks, he takes a dump, and he plays, basically, and that's what makes him happy. He's with the people he loves, and he's a people's wolf. And when he goes outside and he sees people that he likes, he's like all over them, and he squeaks. You know, he's very funny, and he's just, you know, the simple things. That's what, especially food. Now he's getting older, so it's not necessarily good for him to eat so much at once, because he'd love that otherwise. But yeah, so very, very instinctual and very like simple. They don't need much to be happy. Yeah, they just need a loving home, good food, and somebody to play with them. They don't like taking baths that much.
Yeah. And if we look at actually the wolf from a central perspective, you know, I feel like the wolf's got grace, but also like this raw wildness, you know, like it's just like the way how they hold their body or how they're listening to their senses. And they also have this raw, wild, instinctive, you know, that claiming. There's something that they claim. I mean, you know, maybe if they're living in the wild. How do you see it? If you, let's say, we look at the wolf, the energy of the wolf and sensuality.
I feel that they're very powerful. And I feel that if you would have a wolf person, meaning somebody that you would feel their Wolverine or she-wolf energy from them, they would be dominating the place. So dominating just from their being, how they are, how they relate. I don't feel that they would be too talkative. But whenever they'd have to, you know, move across a point or protect their territory, I think they would be aggressive if they had to. They wouldn't have a problem with that. And I would also feel that they are pretty territorial with their partners. I also believe that they are loyal. And in terms of loyal people, loyal partners, a wolf or a canine person is, in my opinion, a more loyal partner and trustworthy than a feline. Maybe I'm just mistaken here, but that's my impression. And very, very instinctual, not necessarily intuitive, but instinctual. I feel that the wolf is so much more in their senses than in their higher nature. So it's more connected to the earth, to nature. Maybe some wolvy partners would also enjoy sex outside. Who knows? They play a lot. Wolves play much more than cats do, like dogs. And all canines, they play more than felines do somehow. Felines are a bit more moody. With wolves, it's like, yeah, you never, unless they're sick, you tell them, let's go outside, let's go play. Wow, they're the first ones to, yeah, sure, out of here. We're gone. So they're always up and ready for it. Cats are more moody, and I think maybe felines are also that way. I haven't studied felines in the wild, but domestic felines, I've kind of seen them. And they're not so direct, and I actually like direct things. So definitely my reaction to that video was, what do you mean what the wolf is like? I am a wolf. I don't even want to think about it. I just am. So yeah.
I think you know, whoever's watching this or listening to this, I think from what you just spoke, there's already a lot we can learn. Playfulness in the relationship, playfulness in the bedroom, getting into our senses versus in our thinking mind. And you know, claiming. I think actually a lot of us deep down want to be claimed. We want to be ravished. We want to feel desired.
Somebody's territory.
Yeah, you know, when it comes in the right environment, we obviously need to create the right environment for it. But I feel like we can probably all learn or relate to that wolf energy, and how it could actually have beautiful effects in our relationships or in our own intimacy with self.
Yeah. Super. So let's get to because the second video that I liked from your Instagram account was the one on detoxing in relationships. Relationship detox, I think.
Yeah, so I talked about relationship and dating. I think we often come from different, well, we do come from different attachment forms, and they can either be avoidant or secure. And I also noticed that a lot of the times people jump from one relationship to the other. And there's different reasons for that, because they are either avoidant, that just don't really want to settle, or they just can't be on their own, so just want to hold on to somebody. And then we can also stay in long-term relationships doing the same thing, but it doesn't create healthy or conscious relating. And I believe that having a break, and that can be for a few weeks or for, you know, a few months, to just take care of yourself and look at what patterns have I been creating, and what is my attachment style, and see what needs shifting. And even like a lot of the times I feel that what we want or what we need and what we're not happy with, we then project onto our partner to give, or we blame them for not giving that to us. So taking a bit of space and looking into ourselves, I feel can be really beneficial, because we learn to be self-responsible and go like, hang on, all right, well, where do I need to pull myself up? And yes, I feel like relationship detoxes are important. And especially if we're also dating, just having, because a lot of times when we date, we just look to meet somebody, or we try to find somebody, or then we are dating, we just try to hold on to somebody that we like. Or we just, you know, we just put out, we give a lot. And if we feel that we're giving a lot, and if you feel like it's draining, maybe we just need to have a pause and just go like, well, okay, well, where do I need to set boundaries, and where do I need to reclaim my energy? So having some time off to do some inner work, to heal, to reflect, to rewire patterns can be really powerful, because then we can come into the dating scene to feel like, right, I know what I need, and I set my boundaries, and now I'm opening myself up to receiving what my most intimate desires are. And the same goes for relationships as well. We probably need to talk to a partner and say, listen, let's have a few weeks, you focus on your stuff, I focus on my stuff. Or if they don't want to do the work, and just say, okay, well, you just take care of yourself, I take care of myself, and I'm just going to reflect, and maybe we come together and have conversations, but I'm just going to take some time to myself and just be and look at what my needs are, and where do I need to rewire, and where can I open up to receiving more of what I want. So a lot of times we also tend to block the thing that we most want. So where are you blocking, and where can you actually open up and allow the other person in? So I believe relationship detoxes are needed. Doesn't really matter how long you've been with somebody. Take some time out. If things are flowing great, can also be good to do it then. But if you find that there's the same thing that reoccurs, or you're feeling the same way, or you feeling you're missing that particular thing, take a pause.
Have you found in the work that you do with women or couples, have you found people to do this often, or
No,
no?
no, unfortunately not. Very rarely. I think it's not something that people really talk about. And, you know, yeah, it does happen. Actually, one of my very dear friends, she's doing that right now. And, you know, people are a bit like, why would you do that? Like, why do you consciously not choose to be in a relationship? Like, people are a bit perplexed. Like, why do you want to be on your own for a year? She's like, because I want to go on this journey for myself. So I think it's a very unknown concept. And it's something, you know, I think like when we talk about relationship, intimacy, or sexuality, we don't really get taught a lot on how to consciously relate or how to have great sex lives. So it's something that I feel like we have to go out there and learn and make an effort to learn.
I know that I have a person around me. She traveled a lot. She's a little younger than I am. And she kept trying to get into a relationship that she felt good in, but for whatever reason, it wasn't happening. And at a certain point, she took a break for a few years. And she said it was becoming a little bit worrisome for her. But eventually she met this amazing guy. I've seen him. And she often said, you know, I took a long break, and people were asking me, okay, how can you, she wasn't doing sexuality work. She was doing other kind of work, but still related to the divine feminine, divine masculine relationships, and being present and showing up in a beautiful way. And she often said, you know, I'm so happy that I waited, because I got the right person for me. And they really are a great match. Yeah. So
Yeah, beautiful.
yeah, sometimes I don't think she thought in terms of detoxing or whatever. She thought of, okay, I keep not coming across what I need and what is honoring what I am. And maybe the other person isn't being honored also because we're not a match. And she said, okay, I'm going to take a break until, and she did.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
beautiful.
yeah, I found that, for instance, in my work, I too have been over 3 years now since I've been single, not dating, like occasionally, maybe if somebody catches my eye, but I've often said this, you know, for the work that I do, and also for the way I am, the lonely she wolf, it's not like, for me, it's not an option to just go around jumping from flower to flower, as we say in Romania. So I'm confident that whenever the time is right, I'm gonna find the right partner, and it's gonna, like, I can feel it almost. It's like, maybe it's also with time, I don't know, but it's also with having because I have this saying where I quote unquote smell people. This also comes from the wolf. It's like, wolf will smell you a lot. They can smell you from a distance. Well, I'm talking figuratively, smelling people, as in, okay, I did that for many years, but I didn't always listen to my smell. And now I'm going to listen to it. Yeah. So I find that detoxing, or just, you know, fasting, in my case, it's no longer a detox, it's a fast. But this one is a powerful fast. And I know that whatever's going to come, it will rock. It'll show on me. It'll show on the work that I do. It'll show on the work that he does, no matter what work he does. So
yeah. Well, I think it creates an invitation versus you know, you're coming to a place of feeling good and connected and awareness, and then I feel we open up, like it creates an invitation for somebody to come in versus looking. It has a different feel. Yeah.
although speaking of wolves hunt. Guess what I do? But I don't carry machetes and guns and arrows and bows and everything. No. So I just, you know, I kind of look from a distance, and I'm like, okay, what is that person like? So my eyes are constantly not even wanting, it's my nature. I look and I see, and it's one of the things that I aspire to, the same way that I aspired to do this work, and the work that I did before, it was my aspiration. It was also about relationships. It's not like a random thing, oh, I'll just casually hook up with somebody. No, it's like I gotta aspire to somebody. That's where I'm not sure if wolves do that. Maybe they just prey, they hunt on the prey, but for me, it's more in the figurative sense. Like it's gotta be somebody that I aspire to be with. Leader, somebody that moves things in their world and so on. I feel that's how the Wolverine energy or she-wolf energy comes up sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we can learn a lot from the wolf.
Yeah,
We
I just
can
gotta
learn a
find
lot.
a very powerful wolf, because a lot of men get intimidated by this kind. Even when I speak to men, not necessarily partners, because I interact with a lot of men socially, and we talk a lot, like about a lot of things. And some guys are often curious, okay, but what does the guy that you want have to be like? And I said, well, first of all, it's not going to be just somebody that will randomly, casually pick me up, because I find that a turnoff. So if I don't feel that I'm special to the guy, thank you, bye-bye. But I told him, one thing, he's got to be super strong, because if I make the first move, for whatever reason, maybe I feel like doing that, he's not going to be intimidated. Like, he's that confident in his sexuality and in his masculinity and leadership and confidence and everything, that he's okay. So she made a first move. That doesn't mean she's going to do everything, but like somebody that fluid, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think we can initiate, and I think it's there's the dance between the masculine and the feminine, and creating polarity and not emasculating a man. But I also think it's nice when we can show, hey, there is interest, in letting them know and showing them that to them. I think that's nice. And I think we're also in a day and age where we should be able to. And it's again like opening up, hey, I'm here, and then creating an invitation to be met there.
I don't know how many men are, I'm not sure what the word is here. Let's say open for now. Maybe this isn't the best word. To own the fact that sometimes they want to be dominated by the women, because some guys actually are into that, but they don't even allow themselves mentally to explore that, or they're just like sexual fluidity, because this is something that I'm interested in. It's navigating your feminine receptive nature, sexual, and your masculine one. Everybody has it, no matter what genitalia you have. You're receptive, and you're also proactive, and you penetrate, or you're being penetrated in terms of attitude, in terms of initiative, whatever. And just something flows with all of that. I find that extremely powerful. I find that very few people do that, but maybe usually couples that explore a lot play with this as well.
I think we haven't learned. I mean, many men haven't learned to be in their feminine, to be in their feelings, to surrender, to open up. And when I coach men, a lot of the times they tell me, but they're also deep down, it's what they want, but because they're exhausted. Yeah, part of them likes to feel like they can hold, and they can, create the container and lead and be wanted and be needed. But a lot of times, I think they are maybe in their unhealthy masculinity. They also feel exhausted. They feel tired. I mean, and then they just would like to be just in their feeling, or to be in their feminine, and just to surrender, and maybe, to be ravished. But
yes,
to be hunted.
There are many, like, sorry to interrupt, but the truth is that many women who are in the BDSM community and who are specialized in being dominatrixes, they get a lot of requests from men who want to be dominated and ravished, and some even trashed by these women. And there is a thing such as humiliation, and a lot of guys are into it. and they want to be, they're turned on to be humiliated by a woman, a dominatrix.
And I think it's because, and you know, a lot of the times these are also men, not all of them, because they have to hold it together, or they have to, you know, care of their family, or maybe they have a particular job that needs a lot of taking care of other people, and they're tired. They just want to let go. They just don't want to think for a moment. They just want to surrender. They just want to serve. And I think, yeah, as you said, that actually already shows there is a subconscious need and want for that. It's just that we don't really talk about it, and they haven't really been taught to just let go, because they just feel like, I have to be responsible, I have to serve, I have to penetrate. Yeah, but there's a healthy way of doing all of that, and there's an unhealthy way of doing. And I think we live in a society where mostly we've been taught to do it in an unhealthy way. So deep down, often we have this craving of just letting go. We just don't know how. So yeah, we seek different ways of doing it. And it's interesting also when I work with couples and I do masculine, feminine embodiment practices. At first, when I tell the woman to embody the masculine, I invite the man to embody the feminine, they're like, no, she can't take it. And I'm like, I bet you she can. She can hold you. She can. And she's like, yeah, let me hold you. Like, I feel like, yeah, there's this dance. Like, even women every now and then, she's like, okay, let me embody the masculine, and I want you to trust me that you can also surrender. But then create a dance of back and forth. But men usually always say like, no, she can't. I'm like, and she's like, no, I
How do you
can. And then
know?
when they surrender into the embodiment of the feminine, like the things that come up, and afterwards they go like, wow, that was just so powerful. And I realized how much subconscious resentment I was holding, that I always have to have it together, that I always have to hold, that I always have to be enough and do it all right. And they realize how tired they am, and actually how there's also resentment. And then they learn to embody the healthy feminine and the healthy masculine. Like, oh, now that makes sense. I can surrender, but I can also embody the masculine and be grounded and centered and have a vision. So yeah, I feel like the subconscious of what we want speaks a lot. It's just we don't know how to do it, and sometimes we don't listen to it. So yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered 5 years ago, I was in Prague at a tantric massage training, intense tantric massage training. And one of the assistants there, he was pretty much an alpha, like everything that he did. And he was the one that was being the model for the male genital massage, which was like an entire production, because we were 100 people and they had a camera set up focusing on his genitalia to show all the movements that the woman assistant was doing on him. And I thought, I love an alpha male, and I'll always banter with them. Most of them can hold that. So most of them can hold space. This guy could. And I bantered with him like before the demonstration, afterwards. And at a certain point, I got to see something which I hadn't seen in like at all at one of the demonstrations that one of the classes that we were having. He was taking care of more students, including me. And he came up during an exercise where I was crying. I didn't know he came because I was facing the mattress and I was crying there. And he just hugged me. And after a few minutes, he started crying too. And when I heard, I was like, oh my God, is that him? Adam. Let's just call him Adam. I was like, oh my God, Adam is crying. So I looked up and I said, are you crying? He said, yes. I said, oh my God, I've never seen a man cry before. To which point, like, he stopped also and he looked at me and said, wow, I am so sorry for you. And he said it again. And I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry for me. It's like my dad, my grandparents, like my granddads, colleagues, boys in our apartment building where I lived, or guys that I dated, I had never seen a man, boy, man, whatever, cry. That Adam was the first one. And I was like, oh my God, now what did I do? I just hugged him. That was it. He was crying, I hugged him. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, what? Yeah. And I'm guessing maybe I was just unlucky. I guess usually men cry and maybe their partners see them. Maybe they just didn't cry around me. Who knows?
Mm.
I'm glad Adam did.
Yeah. And how was that for you to see him? Like, how did that feel for you?
Confusing.
Other than initial. Okay.
Confusing. I was like, what do I do now? And I did not even, like, at the time I was like, just stopped, and I don't even know if I was breathing correctly or not, because I was just stopped. Like, everything had shut down. I didn't know what to do in that point. And I just, eventually I found my way through saying, wow, I've never seen a man cry before. I just owned it, you know, like essentially what I was saying, I don't know what to do. And I didn't know. That was a short circuit for me, big one. And he just said, wow, I'm so sorry for you. And I gotta say, I felt sorry for me too. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him, and at a certain point I just hugged him. And afterwards we spoke about a lot, like that totally shifted the conversations. We spoke a lot around stuff that had happened in his life, moments where he had felt vulnerable. And I was just like absorbing all of that. There was like a man, but showing himself in a very extremely vulnerable way. And it wasn't somebody, like, he wasn't an intimate partner of mine. After I left Prague, I was never going to see him again, which is exactly the case. So it was just a conversation, and I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing? Why have I not met men that share this stuff with me? I was like, yeah, that was a big place for me, just to see a man in his vulnerable side. I didn't even think, was he masculine or feminine? I was just enraptured with all of that.
Yeah.
Just absorbing, like literally eating and breathing in every word that he shared and every stuff that he spoke. And yeah, I'm sure that men have this side, they just don't. And he wasn't, like, one thing that I want to say, he wasn't bitching about things, he wasn't crying to me. He was just, you know, oh, you've never seen this? Well, here are some things that I've been through. So, yeah, that was completely new for me, but I loved it. I gotta say, when a guy goes into all the parts that he has, not only do I have more respect for him, he's more rounded as a human being in my eyes. He doesn't just have to play the alpha, or he's a man and that's it. No, he's a human being. And somehow I also find that attractive. Like, a lot of the guys that I personally liked, they didn't like me back or whatever, but until I sensed their feminine or vulnerable side, I was like, not interested.
I can't feel you, because you can't feel somebody. Yeah. To me, I actually was also at a tantric festival, and it was, I think, day 2, and I learned to trust men. Like, I realized I wasn't trusting men, because, you know, I always thought, oh, they have maybe an ulterior motive. Maybe they're just trying to get into your pants. And, you know, I can't really fully lean onto them or know that they can hold me or know that they can lead. I always had this independent role that I led from. Like, I just can't really trust somebody else to lead. And they will have some, you know, they might hurt me, or they'll have an ulterior motive. So I went into this tantric festival, 400 something people. And I had this guy sitting in, and the days before, like, it was interesting. All these men proved me that I couldn't trust them. Like, they all did something that I was like, and I was like, no, okay. You know, and I just put up a wall. And I, like, you know, the statement of don't trust just got reconfirmed. And then the next morning we did this exercise, and this guy sat in front of me, and we just had to ask, where are you blocking in your body? Like, where do you feel a barrier in your body? And he said, oh, I feel it in my chest. And it's there because I've never let anybody in. I've never felt close to anybody. I've never let anybody into my heart. And he started to cry. And the way how he said that, and the way how he expressed, and he just, you know, and I was just like, he healed and I healed, because he showed me his armor and he released it in front of me. And I was like, wow, thank you for showing you to me, because I can feel you. And it just created this healing for me. I'm like, all right, I can see you and I can trust you. And it just, something in me just switched. It was such a small moment. Nothing huge explosive happened, but just to see him, I could feel him. I was like, no, you know what? I can trust. Mm. And it just shifted that belief. And yeah, I realized my pattern and realizing that, men, first of all, they want to be felt. And sometimes we just maybe also need to create the right space for them to be able to be felt. And yeah, so that was a big healing and learning for me.
Yeah, I couldn't stand the heat anymore. I got really activated.
Take it off.
No, that's the only one that I'm gonna take it off. Yeah. So yeah, those are powerful stories. I feel that anyway, the men that do decide to go in tantric or more heartfelt events, communities, are already stepping outside of whatever is, you know, this box, this predefined role, and the pressure that they have to be in a certain way. And yeah, I feel that even if they don't believe in it, I mean, some just go there because they want to get sex. But yeah, because some people do that. They'll go to tantric communities because they want to, you know, sleep around with the chicks. But even if they stick around and they get into those things and really, like, you can feel that they are being authentic, I feel that that's worthy of anybody's appreciation, because basically he's going outside of his comfort zone. He's going into what? Into vulnerability and emotion. So yeah, and you healed too. I healed also while I was listening.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask you a question. You spoke to this on Clubhouse, and I feel that it's you know, you mentioned pleasure and breath work, and I feel that whoever is watching and listening to this right now, and maybe men and women who want to experience deeper pleasure, and maybe they can't get out of their head, or maybe they've had some trauma in their past and they can't really feel. I'd love to hear, like, how is breath work actually, or how is breath helping you to experience more pleasure?
First of all, for me, it was a curiosity, because I have a woman around me. She's a breathwork facilitator, and she's just this really unusual woman who travels around the planet. She has a daughter who's already 20. This woman is in her 50s, and she just travels and goes with super young people in communities and just enjoys life. And she's like this spark in life, first of all. And when I first attended an event that she facilitated, it was a group event. I tried it. I felt a bit of, you know, what breathwork should do, but it was like, okay, it wasn't that great for me. And I went to more such events, and it was the same. Like, I wasn't going over a threshold. And at a certain point, last year, I had some stuff happening, pretty challenging, with not just the pandemic, but also my work. And I was overwhelmed. And I said, you know what? Why don't I try breath work? I feel it's going to help. And she said, absolutely. So I did a few sessions with her, just individual sessions. And she was all there for me. And essentially, the breath work that you do in these sessions, you breathe in and out through your mouth, and it's connected, dynamic connected breath. And you don't pause. Even if your mouth gets dry, you don't pause, and it's very challenging. But she was there. She was like, okay, come on, go Liana, go Liana. She was really supporting me, because my mouth was dry. I was like, exhausted. And from the first session, after about 20 minutes or 20 so minutes of doing this breath, and she encouraging me to keep pushing beyond my comfort zone, I felt high, but like truly in the sense of high. Like I've taken some stuff in my life, not that many, but you know, I have. None of them got me as high as breathwork did. I'm sincere right now. And what's funny is that I was lying on a yoga mattress, and it was the Shavasana position. So, you know, you just lie down, legs are open wide, hands are by you, open wide. And my hands started to go up, like up from the floor. My feet were going up, then my head started going up. And I told her, I was like, okay, am I going to fly now or what? Am I going to levitate? Is this happening? She said, no, it's okay. It's all good. You're just extremely, when you breathe in and out through your mouth like that, you inhale like 4 times more the quantity of oxygen that you do normally. And well, sometimes your body will do various things. It was, for me, it was like flying, or that's how I felt. And the states afterwards, because she was like, okay, let's be quiet, let's keep breathing. The entire session lasted for about an hour and a half. So that was just the beginning. The states, the sensations in the body, and just I wasn't in my head. Like it wasn't like empty head. It was just peaceful, tranquil mind. And the images that I saw, because in breathwork sessions you work with intention, and I had a specific intention, a specific question that I needed answers on. The images and the states, I mean, I didn't just hear or know the answers, I felt them. And that's pretty, I don't even know how to explain that. That's, for a lot of the stuff that happens there, I don't have a vocabulary for it. I just know how I feel. And after a few sessions of doing breath work with her, I stepped in, like I went at home, and I started, she was gone traveling for a while. And I said, wow, I'm going to take such a long break. And I tried once to do it alone. I did it. I felt, okay, my hands and my feet weren't going up in all directions, but I got to the same states and to the same experiences. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. You come out of it and your face looks a bit different. That's like one of the things that she made me be aware of, is after you finish a session and you're capable to stand and walk, because it's pretty dizzying. She's like, okay, go into the mirror and look at your face. It's like you've slept an entire night and all you did was breathing in for an hour. Yeah.
Powerful.
Super, yes.
And how do you think breath and sexuality are related?
In the like super essence of the message is, good lovers are great breathers. Or great lovers or good breathers, whatever you want to play with it. But your arousal is more intense. The emotional state is more intense. For anybody who's into tantric sexuality or conscious sexuality, divine sexuality, whatever they want to call it, heartfelt and soulful sexuality, breath just takes you up 3 or 4 notches. It's not something like, if you have a partner that is like super fast, like bam, 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 and that's it. You don't have the time to go in those places. If you have a partner that is like super, like too conscious of how you breathe, they're not gonna, they'll just look at you as if you're a freak and you can't get into that also. So it's powerful, but it's powerful for the people that appreciate it, understand it, have a taste for it, or who want to explore it. There aren't that many, sadly. Or maybe I just haven't met that many. Maybe that's more accurate.
I do sensual embodiment practice for myself and also with my clients, and what we usually do is we integrate breath, movement, touch, sound, and feeling. And I think, what I also feel like breath really helps us with is to get out of our body and into, out of our mind and into our body and into our feelings. And I think we open up to deeper sensations when we're, when we're more in our felt senses. And I think breath is such a powerful tool to use. And I feel like even for women that have experienced uncomfortable experience, or just generally people that have experienced uncomfortable or painful or hurtful or traumatic experiences sexually, I think breath is such a powerful tool to, again, go more into your felt senses and help you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And it just opens you more. And I think even when we, let's say we self-pleasure and we just, that do that connected breath, like it's just, pleasure just accentuates itself as well. Yeah, breath is just such a powerful thing that we feel like don't really appreciate how powerful it is and can be.
Unless you're an athlete, because they need breath a lot, or somebody who plays instrument where they have to use air to activate the instruments, then maybe you know how important breath is.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So Nat, where can we find you?
So you can find me on my website. It's my full name, nataliesommer.com. I've also got a quiz on there. So if you're curious about your sensual blueprint and you want to understand more about your intimate desires and what you need to be able to feel arousal and feel connection, I've got a quiz there you can take that will tell you your Eros archetype. And you can also find me on Instagram. It's under Natalie Sommer. And I've also got a private Facebook group called Eros Temple for Modern Women. So you can find me in there too.
And we can find you on Clubhouse when we host rooms
Clubhouse.
together.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions for us, if you've enjoyed this conversation, if it did anything to you, please let us know. Leave us a comment below. And if you want more of us talking together, either join us on Clubhouse or just let us know and we'll do another conversation.
And just quickly, Liana, for anybody that I'll be sharing this video with, like how can they find you? And obviously your YouTube channel, but where else can they find you?
So on Instagram, I am Liana Intimacy Coach. And on Facebook, Liana Intimacy Coach. And my website is actually my name, but it's a Romanian name. I'm going to say it. I'm not sure how many people can translate that. lianabuzea.com. And that's where you find my programs, the Sex Dojo for Women, which is an amazing program, and I'm uploading new content. And yeah, you can practice along with me there without being seen by anybody. You just see me. And you're going to see me talking to Nat in the future. So definitely on Clubhouse. On Clubhouse, I am Liana Coach. So you can find me there.
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful.
I enjoyed this conversation a lot. I actually love that we flowed through it. So I hope to see you soon again. And I'm looking forward for our next room on Clubhouse.
Yeah, me too. Thanks so much for having me here and great chat. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. Ciao.
Bye. Bye, everybody.